Welcome, friends, to another episode of Unbottled Potential. This is part of my special Stop Drinking, Start Manifesting series. Today, we're going to be talking about manifesting friendships when you are alcohol free. Now, for those of you who are new here, Stop Drinking, Start Manifesting is a monthly special segment of the podcast where we discuss the intersection of alcohol free living, spirituality, metaphysics, mysticism, and manifestation, basically everything woo woo. And it is just one of my favorite things to talk about. And this segment was created to acknowledge the frequent intersection of sober curiosity and spiritual curiosity that I've noticed in, first of all, myself, but also in the women who I attract and who I work with. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about manifesting new friendships. And if you didn't catch our last episode, episode 9 on maintaining current friendships, if that is a concern, which I'm sure it is, I definitely recommend you go back and listen to that one. But today we're going to specifically be talking about attracting or calling in new friendships. And this is one of the things that I know all of you are going to be interested in because, like it or not, sometimes the fact that we have to face is that some of the old friendships we had are not here to stick around as we evolve into this new version of ourselves. And so what I want you to know is that you are deserving of deep, expansive, supportive friendships. You are deserving of friendships that root for you to express in every way possible for you to step into your potential. And sometimes that requires stepping up into a different level of friend. You know, we talked about in the last episode that you are the combination of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. And while that can sometimes maybe seem like an insult to some of the people who you are hanging around now, if you want to reach higher levels of success, higher levels of your potential, it really goes without saying that you need to be around people who are supportive of that, who aren't tethering you to a past version of yourself or tethering you to a current reality. So today I want to talk about how you can attract some new like-minded friends who are going to actively encourage your growth. And again, we can affirm that our existing friendships are going to evolve with us. And we also want to be conscious about looking for friendships with people who are on the same journey or already a little bit ahead of us, because that's only going to accelerate our growth. Once we can see to believe that this lifestyle that we are desiring exists out there and we can see that in our friendships, we are going to step into a new level of ourselves. So I want to talk about first why we're talking about manifesting friendships versus just making new friends. And I say that because I know a lot of you are introverts. A lot of you are people who are very shy, or maybe even disbelieving that there are other people out there. Maybe you are like one of my clients who she lives in a smaller town and truly believed that she had exhausted the friendship possibilities in her current community, and she knew everyone there was to know. And really what we want to talk about today is attracting new people that you might not have noticed before and new people who might not have noticed you. So making new friends can sound a little bit like a task. And granted, you will have to take action here. I am going to give you some soul assignments to work through today, but manifesting new friends makes it feel like they're just going to be drawn to you. And here's the thing, they are. You've probably heard the phrase, your vibe attracts your tribe. And that is absolutely true. The energetic frequency, the level at which you vibrate, tells the universe, tells other people, tells other vibrational beings if you are a match for them or not. So, as you step into this new higher vibration, which is going to be somewhat automatic as you remove alcohol from your life and you start to step up and up level in your personal and self growth and your spiritual growth and connection, your vibration is going to continue to increase. And that's going to mean that you attract and are attracted to a different caliber of person. And again, that doesn't mean that anyone is this isn't about our worth. We are all inherently worthy. This is about what level of vibration are you on right now and who are you surrounded by. And so the phrase, your vibe attracts your tribe, really does ring true. And you will see that start to happen if you haven't already seen it happen yet. You will start to be drawn into places, conversations, opportunities that are different than what was available to you as a drinker. Now, Before we get started in this process, one of the activities I want you to pause and make sure that you do is to get clear on what you're looking for in friendship. And so often that can be a little convoluted when we are still kind of making our way out of a past version of ourselves. So, this is an exercise that I want you to take on and I want you to refine over time. And there are two different ways that I get at understanding what I'm looking for in friendships and relationships, in anything really in life that I'm trying to attract and call in. And that is to get clear on my values. What are the things that I most value in my life right now? And of course, these will adjust and evolve over time. And to get clear on the characteristics of what it means to me to be a good friend. From me personally, how can I be a good friend? And what do I need in a good friendship? In a congruent friendship, what do I need to call in order to have a supportive friendship where I feel like we are both giving at equal levels? And one of the ways in which I do that is I lead an exercise for my students and my clients called the inventory. If you've done any of my group programs, you are familiar with this exercise, but I'll give you just a really quick rundown of how you might do that on your own time right now. And if you want more details, you can definitely hop into one of my programs or courses. But the inventory is basically a running list of what you are looking for in a friendship. Okay. And I say a running list because you're always collecting data and you're always changing and evolving. So things that might have been important to you or might have been a deal breaker 2 years ago probably won't be a deal breaker or maybe quite as important to you now. And then there are consistent characteristics that you were always looking for. So I would encourage you, and don't skip this. Please don't skip this and make a running list in your head. I really want you to sit down and make a list of the characteristics you are looking for in a close, supportive friendship. Someone who you want in your inner circle, someone who you want to be on your, the top of your text message chain, someone who you want to communicate with and see regularly. What are you looking for in those friendships? How are they giving to you? How are they supporting you? And how are you supporting them in exchange? I want you to be really clear on this because if you are not, what you might be tempted to do accidentally typically is to fall into old patterns where maybe you are over giving or you are overextending yourself into friendships that aren't quite where you would like them to be. So doing an inventory of your desires in friendship is really important. And again, I lead this exercise in almost all of my courses. So if you want a more detailed explanation, you can pop into one of those. I have some that are a course called Sober and Social that is very inexpensive. And I lead an exercise in how to do the inventory a little more deeply in that course. So get clear on what you are looking for. And then what we want to do is take action and let the magic happen. So if you are new to this alcohol-free lifestyle, or maybe if you are just sober curious, you might have an old archaic thought running in the back of your head, a limiting belief or a fear that says, well, Amanda, how am I supposed to make new friends because everyone around me drinks or every social activity is that I see revolves around alcohol? And what I want you to know is that may be true in your current lifestyle, but that does not have to be true. I don't care if you live in the teeny tiniest, smallest town. There are people available to you that you have simply not been connected with because here's how I like to see it. There is a cosmic algorithm that operates. And if y'all are on social media, which I assume you probably are in some respect, you are familiar with the algorithm. The algorithm is what tells the device, tells like Instagram or TikTok, how to show you videos that it thinks are going to captivate your attention, how to show you things that it thinks you will be interested in. And you probably scroll your For You page or your feed, and you're always amazed at the types of videos or the types of content that is showing up for you is very similar to what your interests are. So for me, my For You page has a lot of content on Princess of Pop, Britney Spears. God bless her. I love her so much. And if anyone can connect me with her, I'm here to help you, Brittany. Brittany is one of my OG like heroes, despite what she might be going through, in her life right now. And so I always get videos for Britney Spears. And guess what? I always freaking watch those. And every time I watch them, it tells the algorithm once again, Amanda wants more videos about Britney Spears. So I continue to get them. Now, here's how the cosmic algorithm works. You have continued to surround yourself with people who live a specific type of lifestyle. So the universe continues to show you those same types of people. And it's like you have on these little cosmic blinders to where you can only see what you have told the universe you are a yes for. Now, in order to reset the algorithm, you have to start watching and paying attention to and surrounding yourself with different types of content. So if I were to just go on a tirade and decide I no longer want to see Britney Spears videos, I would have to start scrolling past those. I would have to stop watching them. And eventually the algorithm would get the hint, oh, maybe this isn't Amanda's jam anymore. And it would start showing me something else. So this is what you need to do in your life. You need to adjust your cosmic algorithm, and that takes some action on your behalf. And it maybe also will take some resetting of patterns. It might take you getting outside of your comfort zone. And so in order to reset your cosmic algorithm, what I want you to do is take some very special action to recalibrate to a new paradigm. So, the first thing that you've done to reset the algorithm is you've stopped drinking. You've stopped taking one massive action. And you also will probably need to reorient how you get along in society sometimes. For me, at first, I thought that I was just going to be the cool, sober girl who kept doing all the same things just without drinking. And what I started to realize is some of the activities, the boozy brunch, the Sunday fun day, the Friday happy hour, those were no longer fun to me without drinking. And I kept trying to go to them, but what I realized is these just aren't congruent activities. So I need to pick some new activities so that I'm reorienting myself to a different algorithm. Now, of course, I didn't call it that back then. I didn't quite have this philosophy as sorted out. But what I did was I started going to places where I thought like-minded people might, maybe, possibly be. And so that's what I want your second step to be. I want you to know that you don't have to completely withdraw from all of the activities you did before as a drinker. If you still find some of them fun and exhilarating and exciting, by all means, keep doing them. But if there are activities that you no longer are interested in, what I want you to do is shift and start putting yourself in places where you think that like-minded people might maybe possibly be. So for me, that was going to things like just more yoga and fitness classes. I found that a lot of people who were into fitness weren't super into drinking. I would sign up for mindfulness courses. I would go on Eventbrite or go on, different pages in my town where I live in Austin and try to find events where maybe like-minded people might be going. And I would just rip off the Band-Aid and say, I'm going to this alone. I'm going to this and I'm putting myself out there. I actually specifically went to a ton of things solo so that I would not be tempted to latch on to a buddy, that I would have to talk to new people. So the first step to reset your cosmic algorithm is to stop drinking. The second is to put yourself out there where like-minded people might be. Third is when you are in these new environments vibrating at a higher frequency, you are going to be surprised that like-minded people are just going to be attracted to you. People are going to approach you and start conversations. And when that happens, I want you to lean in. I don't want you to fully put the onus on them to make the move. This is sounding like a pickup line scenario, and it kind of is. It's very similar. I don't want you to rely on them to make the friendship move. I want you to lean in, and if you are enjoying a conversation with someone who has been drawn to you, I want you to say something to the effect of, man, I'm really enjoying this conversation. I would love to connect with you. Can I get your Instagram handle, or can I get your phone number? And we can maybe come to this class again together, or meet for coffee, or go to lunch, or go on a walk. I want you to have a friendly seduction with these people. So know that when people start a conversation, when they're magnetized, I want you to lean in. Okay. And also notice that this is going to happen in places where you already are frequenting. So a really great example of this is my client, Emily. She'd been going to a fitness class for quite some time before we started working together. And she'd been around the same group of women week after week after week, but it wasn't until she stopped drinking and increased and changed her energetic vibration that some of them started approaching her and wanting to hang out after the workout class. And so a couple of weeks or a couple of months probably into her alcohol-free journey, she finally got together with all of these women who she'd been working out with for months and went out to dinner with them, only to discover that most of them did not drink. Most of them were delighted to have fun with people who didn't drink. And she was like, Amanda, these people were out right under my nose this entire time. And I said, of course they were, but you had your blinders on. So you were not attracted to or even turned on to the possibility of talking with them. And now that you've shifted your energetic vibration and opened yourself up to new experiences of a different caliber, these people have come into your sphere of influence. They've come into your social sphere in a different way than was possible before. So know that in new places, people are going to be magnetized to your new energy. And in places that you are already frequenting, some of your potential new friends might be right under your nose. You are just failing to connect with each other right now because your vibrations don't match. So it might be a woman who has been in your yoga class next to you for months. It might be a person who has been in the same coffee shop line with you for weeks and weeks and weeks, but you've just never had the energetic connection, the energetic alignment. So know that when people are magnetized to you, and they will be, it's your job to lean in. All right. Finally, I want to give you the most difficult part of this homework, which is belonging yourself. And that is taking action, really, really asserting yourself into this new desire to get new friends. And I got this phrase from one of my dear friends and mentors, Annie Lala, and she talks about belonging yourself and taking the initiative to surround yourself with people and make connections. And what this looks like is you can't always expect someone to make the first move and be magnetized towards you. If you are in a class or in a setting or a scenario where you think that someone there could be a great connection for you, maybe you're getting a pull to talk to this one specific person, or maybe you're not, but you just need to find someone to talk to and put yourself out there. I want you to work on belonging yourself, taking initiative and making the move. And that doesn't have to be some bold gesture. This can be a very subtle, very easy, hey, how are you? Have you been to this class, this event, this space, this coffee shop, this whatever before? Can you give me basically any intelligence, any intel on what it's like to be here? What do you like about this? You can ask them for advice. You could also give them a compliment. There are so many ways, micro ways to make connections with people who you see in these like minded spaces. And usually those little nudges for belonging will start a conversation with these people. And then you can take it to the next level. Then you can lean in and say, hey, I really enjoyed our conversation. I'd love to hang out. I'd love to follow you on social media, connect somewhere else, get your phone number. This is like dating for friendship. And it really honestly gave me a new respect for how often we expect someone to approach us in a romantic scenario, and how sometimes how much courage that takes. And so I want you to take that courage upon yourself in these friendship scenarios. And I want you to start belonging yourself, taking initiative, making the ask, making the initial connection, because people will be so delighted to connect with you. You are a person who is growing into their highest potential. You are a person who has chosen to live life on the cutting edge, and people are going to be so amazed by what you bring into their life. You have so much to give. And even if you don't believe that yet, I believe it for you. You have so much to give in friendships, and you are just growing into a more expansive version of yourself right now. And people will be so lucky to have your energy in their lives. All right. I want you to know and believe and feel and trust that. And I have to tell you that, one of the most disarming things for me about choosing an alcohol-free lifestyle was making that decision to step away from some of my current social groups that I had really invested a lot of energy into cultivating, and knowing and trusting and believing that the universe was going to present me with new like-minded friends. And I cannot tell you how much the quantity and quality and congruency, am I making that word up, of my friendships has increased. I have now attracted friends who are incredibly loving and supportive and nurturing to me, who show up for me when things are difficult in a level that I don't know that my party friends, that's not to say all of them, some of them I maintain very close relationships with, but I don't know that some of them would have had the capacity for that. And I can be honest and say, I, as a party girl, did not have the capacity to be the type of friend that I am today. And so, how could I expect to attract a friend, a friendship, a group of people who had those qualities if I myself did not have them? So, as I step into a new caliber of being a friend, I've also attracted new types of friends. And as someone who grew up really feeling like I had to grapple for connection and friendship, really feeling like I had to form myself into something else to make friends, it's so relieving to be able to live as my most authentic self, to show up as who I am, imperfect and perfect all at the same time, and know that there are people out there who are for me, who are just so excited and grateful to be my friend, and me the same in return, that I do not have to dim my light. I do not have to change myself. I do not have to shift the way that I show up in order to feel worthy and supported and connected in these friendships. And wow, Let me tell you, friends, that is such a gift. That is such a gift. And that is such a shift of trajectory to what I experienced the first really 30 some years of my life. And again, I do have some great friendships that I've maintained, but there were so many times where I felt that I had to be someone other than who I was to be considered popular and worthy of friendship. And that's just not true. And being alcohol free has helped me create the space to be my truest, authentic self and to have the courage and capacity to go out there and find friends that are ready to cheer for this authentic version of me. And you deserve that too. And even though it might seem like those people could be hard to find, maybe they're diamonds in the rough, maybe they are hiding in the woodwork, I promise you, this is only because your cosmic algorithm has been calibrated to be blind to them right now. It has been calibrated to overlook these people that already exist in your life right under your nose. And I promise you that once you start to implement these steps, and I'll go through them again, that you will start to connect with new and different types of people. And it's just really going to be miraculous. So let me review those steps for you now. The first is stop drinking. Automatically going to raise your vibration and start working on yourself. Really step into your personal and spiritual development path, which is what I teach here, which is what I teach to my private clients, which is what I teach in all of my private in my programs. Stop drinking and step up into your potential. Okay. Second, put yourself out there in places where like-minded people might be. Third, when they are magnetized to you, lean in. And fourth, work on belonging yourself. If someone doesn't approach you, know that is your little nudge from the universe to put yourself out there and start a conversation and take initiative and be assertive in gaining new friendships. And know that every single person who you meet is not going to be for you or a lifelong friend. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it's okay if the every person you meet isn't on your top of the friends list. Sometimes we need connections to lead us to the next thing. Sometimes people are just transitions and bridges to lead us to another type of friendship or to show us that something is possible or to show us that a friendship like this is available, even if they are not a lifelong friend for us. So I really want you to be inspired to know that you are going to become incredibly magnetic to a completely new type of friend and that you are capable and deserving of manifesting amazing supportive friendships that help you grow into your next level self. And I really can't wait to hear how some of those friendships come into your life as you listen to this episode and implement some of these techniques and just step further into your journey, my friends. If you found this episode helpful, empowering, impactful, I urge you to screenshot it and share it on social media and share a little something about what you learned. Tag me. I love to see these tags. I love to hear your feedback. If there's something you want to share with me, please feel free to shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I am at Amanda Kuda. And if you would love to support this podcast even more and make sure that it gets in the ears of other people who need to hear it, I would be so, so grateful if you would leave a review and rating over on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts, really. And if you do, and if you take a screenshot of that before you submit and send it over to me, I will send you a link to my Unbottled Potential visualization meditation, which is really going to help you visualize and step into that next higher potential version of yourself. And I would love to send that to you. So I hope that you learned something today, and I hope to catch you next week on another episode. Until then, I cannot wait to hear what happens as you unbottle your potential. Take care. Bye for now.